Dictator 0.5. Ganun.
Like, like -1.
Hindi siya fully evolved
He doesn't know enough to be a full-on dictator.
Pikachu pa siya, hindi siya Raichu. Ganun.
Oh my God. But, like, you know what I mean? We didn't learn our lesson as a country.
Yes.
And I think that's always, that's what we need to be better at. Learning our lesson as a country, including ourselves, and then moving on from it and being better from it.
The lesson really cost a lot. But learning the lesson, the journey towards it. Parang, kasi before, like during the campaign, parang approaching pa yung 2022 elections, diba? There were like a lot of sides, collectives sharing the same beliefs, and then debates were there, and then parang there were victims man pod gud ato na campaign. They're marketing things like this and that, and ending it's not like this. Parang we recently katong na debunk na to, 'di ba? Na let's just say na you don't really have to force someone to follow and then believe what you believe for. Parang like you would just let, okay, time will tell. Pero kasi yung time will tell, it would cost you so much to let time lang.
It will take a really long time.
Really long time.
Imagine like time will tell, okay, let's say this certain group, you would eventually realize why I'm preaching for something that's actually, let's say, more right for them. Imagine, nagbabalaan to nila niya, it took them 5 years to realize na like, but then they voted for that person and that person.
5 years, tapos nadaanan pa ng election, so they still voted for the same person. Oo.
Yeah.
So we just never learn. And again, I'm gonna go back to the way that digital activism is allowing us to like at least document our mistakes.
Oo. Yeah, that's the good thing about the internet. It acts as an archive.
Archival.
Oo. Makikita lahat na hindi na parang like, hindi, kalimutan lang natin yan, wala na tayong ebidensya. Meron na tayo, girl, nasa Facebook na, nasa IG na, nasa Twitter
documented. And you can be wrong. And some people change their minds. And that's fine.
Yeah. Guys, it's really okay to be wrong. It's really okay to change your mind. It's really fine. We welcome you. Sa mga taong hindi nagwe-welcome sa'yo, pag nag-iba ka ng isip, sila yung may mali. Kasi, we're people. We're always subject to change. Diba?
That's the thing po na human beings are egoistic by nature. And admitting that you're wrong, it took them such journey and time to realize na, oops,
sobrang hirap.
I'm taking on a different route. And then if I would come up with accountability na, sorry for not believing you and I've chosen this and this and that, people usually dip you in with this like, see, I told you so. And now that's gonna change the narrative. It feels like you're weaponizing my mistakes, which in some certain cases, it's
okay
fine for you to do it.
Okay naman.
But that's one of the reasons na lang na people would stick in with the familiar route just because it's safe. Just because it's what they're familiar with.
I wouldn't say that people are naturally egoistic. I mean, you can debate about philosophical natures of humanity, but I agree that people can sometimes just like dig in if they don't want to be called out, and I think that's very true. And that's a natural instinct. And it's an instinct that we have because of capitalism. Let me just say, because of perfectionism that is within industrial capitalism.
Name drop na natin. Kapitalismo, yan ang pinaka.
Being wrong is really bad in capitalism, but if you...
It's not efficient.
It's not efficient. It's not efficient to be wrong. So that's why it's ingrained in you that you need to always be perfect. You need to always be right. That's not true. You will never be always right. But capitalism tells you have to be. So what we're saying here is that perfectionism is a curse. Perfectionism is a disease. And you need to be cured from it. And that cure is... and that cure is... unlearning capitalistic tendencies.
Yes, talaga. Kasi, I'm sorry, like, with everything that we've talked about, I can't help but think about ideology. Kasi, parte talaga yan sa pakikibaka. Actually, everyone is so scared of the term ideology. But the only, like, okay, yung mga ideology na yan, I want everyone to realize that we are all susceptible to ideology. The reason why you just don't realize it is because sometimes the ideology is the status quo. Sometimes the ideology that we're learning every day, yung ideology ng kapitalismo, that's the status quo. So it doesn't feel like we're learning ideology. And so when we're scared about like the ideology na binibigay ng mga socialist people, ganun, patay takot dun. We're already susceptible to it and naaapektuhan na tayo sa kapitalismo. Bakit? Why do we feel like we need to work all the time and not have a social life?
Yes.
Apekto yan ng ideology ng kapitalismo sa atin. We don't need to do that.
Yes, sister.
There's so much more avenues that we can explore,
Yes,
diba?
sister. Amen.
Yes, sister. Amen.
I'm just sitting here. I'm sat. Go, girls, preach.
Diba? Like, yun lang talaga. Like, walang, like, we have the status. Pero, I would really like to go back to the conversation of yung pipelines. Kasi yung sinabi mo sa manosphere sa tradwife. Sinabi mo, I can't help but worry about the children who see that content. That content talaga. It's because at least tayo sa mga matatanda. Oh my God.
As an old woman, yes, I am.
Diba? As us tayo na may alam na, we can discern if that is propaganda or not.
Girl, no, let me challenge you in that. Not all older people know
Okay,
to
not all.
challenge.
Sorry. Not all. Pero like when you're sensible enough, you understand na what is propaganda and what isn't. Pero yung skill na yan, wala yan sa mga bata. And the thing is, there's a lot of people on the internet na. So, diyan ako nako-concern sa lack of protection.
That's correct. So there are certain ways, and if it's okay, let me try to move to a few suggestions that I may have. We're talking about like the bad things about
Sige, go.
about there's what we call OSAEC. That's the online sexual exploitation, sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Our laws are fully protecting children, especially in cyber crimes. So like kanang mga cyber sex dens, gani nga ginabugaw na tong mga bata. The government is cracking down on that, to be fair to the government.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily protect kids from grooming. For example, especially if they meet people on Roblox or on Minecraft, etc. So it doesn't necessarily protect them from that. The best protection that we have are the parental controls. And it's the parents. It's always up to the parents. But what if your parents are negligent? No. So it's not the best form of protection of our children against OSAEC. So when we're talking about like OSAEC, right? There usually is protection for cyber sex. Like it's the bigger things. And we never really think about like the smaller things, like how much our young people or our children, I don't want to say young people, it's children, how much our children are going to be exposed to lascivious stuff, online. There's not a lot of protections, around it right now. So I think that's the main thing that needs to be, worked out by our government. It's that how, do we need, for example, what Indonesia and Australia is doing, like, really making sure that if you're 16, there's a lot of controls. Yeah. There's bans, but I don't know if ban is fully the correct word.
Yeah,
you know? But like, there are a lot of controls, especially if you're under 16. And we're treating technology in the same way that we're treating like, alcohol. For example, if you're 16, you can't drink, right? Because you don't have the capacity first to like, what's the word? To fully, metabolize, alcohol.
Metabolize.
In the same way that you don't always have the full capacity to fully metabolize social media and all of its entirety, as well. It's a double-edged sword because we also want to organize young people, no? Like at as much as 16 years old, you can already make a mark in the world and make an impact. But at the same time, it's also how are we protecting them as minor members of our society.
Not even laws, diba? There's no laws in place. Mga ganun.
So,
What about you? How would you have liked to be protected when you're 18 right now, right? So how would you have wanted to be protected when you were younger?
okay, so this is more on like a personal touch on me. That sounded so weird. But anyway.
Cut!
Okay, so like somehow like let's say something eccentric about eccentric. Over naman sa eccentric. But I didn't really grow up with the conventional childhood that most children did or had. Kasi I was always labeled as someone mature for my age. Which was an advantage. It was like holding me up in a pedestal, but at the same time, it was a pressure on my part. So I've been exposed through I've been exposed in social media. I don't know how old I was when I had social media, but it can be delved in with pornography. I personally don't consume pornography, but in a sense that my mga ka-age, they do, which pornography is somehow healthy if it's well regulated, but I don't think it should be what children should be consuming, honestly. And with that touches on with their how they perceive women, how they perceive sex in its performance, and its art, and its own autonomy, and what it looks like, with the curiosity and everything, chut-chut-chutness. And I'm gonna touch this on, apart from pornography, activism, okay? So, I sat down with my tita, and then she overheard nga I was having a meeting with Toboso 19. And then she was like, why are you touching on that? Like, at your age? And then she was like, you know what, at when you grow up, you're gonna regret nga that's what you did at your childhood. Ana siya nga, dili ko ganahan nga akong mga anak mamauni mo nga, puro imong giproblema ang kalibutan, ang Pilipinas na unasagot imong kagalingon. Somehow, there was like rationale behind her sentiment. But then, it was like, it made me like be sit on an epiphany na, what if I wasn't really aware? Because if I weren't in social media, let's just say I was so behave and at the age of 18 pa ako nagka-social media, I think I'd be like the most oblivious person, actually. Because my community, I connected with them through social media. Okay? And let's just say I can only count with my fingers kanang like in person dyan ako sila nakaila. And they're not mentally stimulating people. They're not advocates. They're not aware. I'm not judging on their lifestyle or who they are as a person, but I don't think that's someone I should be always involved in. So it was helpful for me because I had the capacity to differentiate, the capacity on discernment to differentiate which kind of path I should walk on. And hanggang napadpad ako sa activism na part. Now, with children, diba, platforms, it's based on algorithm. And we have different desires. My desires were really in touch with the civic rights, with feminism, with the climate justice. How about those children who wants different things? Arts, maybe other things, vices, etc. How would I want to be protected? I don't really know. My parents don't protect me though.
Maybe because it's not even... Okay, I'm not saying that it's not your parents' responsibility, but it's
they have a
something bigger than your parents. It's not supposed to be just for individual, like action for us to protect ourselves. Because here's the thing, it's not even just children. It's even adults.
It's old people who fall for scams.
Oh.
You kidding me? How many scams has my grandma fallen into?
My mom.
Girl, yung mga nagtatawag sa kanila, bigay nga kayo ng bank details nyo. Pati security code, ganun.
Yeah.
But like, let's say if parents did actually like the parental supervision. If my parents did that on me, I would be so limited. I wouldn't be who I am right now if they did that. So that's something I would want to challenge about like parental supervision. Yeah, it's a good factor. But like, I don't know if you remember this, but like Kim K cried about like North finding out the Roblox.
Yeah, her sex tape in Roblox.
I would allow my children to be like engulfed in Roblox, other games nga like pang bata jod. But like even that ma-penetrate na gani siya with...
Yes, actually that's a really good point.
Yes.
And like you know, like, it's not just the responsibility of the parents. It's so much bigger. Kasi, again, it's not just kids. It's old people. And even it's people our age. Shamah, I was looking at your story the other day.
Oh,
Oo.
God.
I was looking at your story the other day. For background nga pala, I was looking at Shamah's story the other day and then may nakukuha siyang mga comments that were very hateful. Ngayon, ano masasabi mo sa mga ganyang hate comments?
Can I do a mean tweet?
Oh, please.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You're gonna read it?
Have it all on
Oh my God! Okay, guys. We're gonna have a segment na babasahin ni Shamah ang mga hateful comments sa kanya or mga hateful DMs ba?
Yes, but this isn't just for rage baiting, but this is actually what
Oh,
is the
we need a
effects
platform
of-
to talk about it.
Yes.
Kasi hindi pwede kayo lang dada sa comment section. Pwede
Yeah.
kami. I-expose namin kayo.
This
Sige,
is
let's
also
go.
a realistic
Let
point
me
of view.
reply to you. And
Sige, let's go.
some of them are nurses. I reported one of them.
Oh my God.
Like, actually, like, offline grounds or just their account?
like a BPO person.
Oh.
And I reported them to their
Yun yung nakita ko
BPO.
sa story mo.
Yeah, I
Yes.
reported them to their
Sige,
BPO.
start natin
Are
ang
we allowed
segment
to-
ng Shamah reading hate comments. Sige.
This is Shamah reading hate comments and probably responding to some of them. Okay, eto. The first one. This one from... Just kidding. Magkano binayad sa'yo ng Liberal Party? Baba mo di ka nag-iisip ng ina mo para kang tanga.
Dahil kakasabi lang namin wala kaming pera.
Girl, wala pong binayad sa akin ang Liberal Party. Hindi po ako Liberal Party, first of all.
Clock it.
So, walang pera. Although, I am kind of rich now because I have a lot of contracts with
Shit,
big
nag-flex siya.
organizations. So.
Hey, that's exactly the flex you think it is, babe.
And then there's like this one, which is so... Wait lang. Let me read you this one. Hoy, paano na yung mga inosente na naging biktima ng war on drugs? Sana if you were to clamor for the so-called victims of EJK, sana naman girl mag-rally din kayo para sa mga inosenteng na biktima at na-rape ng mga drug addict. Saan kayo nung lamay nila? Tahimik kayo, di ba? Be fair when you cry for justice kasi may mga namatay din ng mga inosente dahil sa drug addicts, just saying. Whatever your name is, and I'm not gonna name it, I saw your profile. You're a teacher. Are you teaching this to your students? Where were you when we were putting up rallies against gender-based violence? I saw your profile. You do not even post anything around women's rights. Do not talk to me about women's rights and do not weaponize rape just to further your own political gain.
Talking about feminism, questioning the Shamah Bolangis pa talaga.
Guys, eto. Hoy, gago ka ba? May paiyak-iyak ka pang nalalaman. Kahit anong gawin nyo, hindi nyo mapapabagsak ang presidente.
Didn't that already happen with his father?
Girl. Girl. Kani, day, bisaya gyud siya. Kayawa nimo siya paghikog oy. Kung mangwarta lang ka sa LP bugok man nimo dako, hilak-hilak pa ka baho bilat ang giapo ka.
Oh my
Sige kong mahugas, sige kong naligo, kinsa man ka.
Nang ano nakasimot ka?
Bitaw, luta ni mo ay.
Tasa, pag toothbrush pod pa nagsayaw ka. Sorry na, wala ko nakapanutbrush atong nga rally. Nanutbrush na karon. Nanutbrush na karon.
Mean comments?
Oh, kani, last one, we're done. Haha, buang mang kaday, oy. Mura ka pa filler lips nga 10 sessions buang ka. Girl, if you think that my lips are luscious and kissable, just say that. Because they are. And if you're jealous of them, you can also get your 10 sessions. But for me, I am all natural, baby.
Mura siya guway kwarta para ana. That was Shamah reading hate comments. Oh my God, I live for it.
the comments are so funny. It's so crazy. Like, there was a rape threat before that, but sorry, trigger warning.
Sorry, trigger warning.
There was a rape threat before that, but I couldn't get myself to read it. But
Yeah, you know, kind of like the only thing you can do about it is just laugh.
yeah, what else can I do? Unless it's like actually really, really bad,
Yes,
then I
when it's
report
not, then,
them.
like, yeah.
But if it's not, then it's like, you can do whatever you want. It's fine.
And kind of, it gets very stupid, but like, aside from like the really, really dangerous ones, but like, girl, come on, let's do better. When we leave hate comments, let's do better. You know, let's be more concrete. Let's have more substance. And ganun.
More credibility.
I'm kidding. Do not leave hate comments on Shamah. I love her.
No, actually do. Like, if you leave me, I'm gonna kill you. Come.
Wait lang, what did you say?
Do it.
Very approachable yung dating. Pero no, that thing is like parang obviously the only thing we can do is really laugh about it. Kasi what else can we do, girl? Hindi naman kita pwede pupuntahan sa bahay mo. Like, hoy, sinabi mo to sa akin, di ba? There's a lot of protection that needs to happen. Na hindi lang sa nagsistop sa parental protection.
Yeah.
Oo. Meron din tayong dapat na i-ask. Dapat meron tayong i-ask na accountability from the people who make those apps.
Yeah.
Naman, di ba?
Correct. Exactly. Can I just talk about this just a little bit?
No, it's okay. Go.
They have the mandate to do this for us because we are their products, right? Let me talk about it from a historical materialist perspective.
Sige, girl, go. Makikinig kami lahat.
So, when you look at labor before, no, like, let me give you a history lesson. I was not alive during this time, but I'm old and let me give you the
Durang
history
Pro Max.
So, go on. I'm just gonna be sad.
Yeah, when industrial capitalism happened, right? The rise of the machines, everything was automated, and then everybody started, like, working on machines, right? Whether that's the assembly line to create like the engines for motorcycles or the train, etc. A lot of us started going into labor and selling our labor. And so that's why we created, during that time, laws and policies to have and to protect children so that there's no child labor, right? It wasn't because the capitalists just said, oh, let's protect children. No, they wanted children to work because they wanted the labor of children, something that's so natural for us. Children like to work. Children like to do something. Okay? Children yearn to do something. But that's not an excuse for you to abuse it. And so unions during that time, proposed and not proposed actually even. That's like just a disrespectful word. They demanded that there be laws to protect children. They also demanded the 8-hour day work week. That they have 2 days of rest as well. As you said, if there were no activists, you wouldn't have any rights. And that those are the unionists, at the time. They demanded all of this so that they can actually rest as well. What is happening right now is, yes, our labor was commodified. Mind you, labor is something very common to all of us. We do labor. If I wasn't paid to create this, I would still make a chopstick. For example, if I wasn't paid to cook, I would still cook. For example, that's labor. The difference is how we relate to our labor, and to our creations. That's the difference between capitalism. We're alienated from our creations. What is happening right now is our minds are now the mode of production. Okay? Before, it was bodies. When we were still not alive.
Yung mga effort natin.
Yes, it was bodies. Now it's our brains, right? Our attention is commodified. Our desires are commodified.
What do you mean by that?
Thank you. What that means is now Facebook and all the social media take all of our data, what we look at, what our age is, what our demographic is, where we come from, etc. They sell that to companies so that they can sell things back to us. Okay? We are the products of Facebook and Instagram.
So basically, they're gathering data for their marketing, and then we are just unpaid to give them something that can amplify their
Ginagawa
company.
tayong lab rat.
Yes.
Yes.
We are the products and we're not getting any out of it. Not even content creators. Content creators sometimes get monetized, like get so much money from it.
Oh,
right?
actually, that's also on touch of the validation. So, when it's basically you have to perform so well so that there would be more validation. And some companies or some corporations actually pay you through likes, comments, and shares. So that's one of the reasons why we have this aesthetic propaganda na you have to be like very well prim and proper in your life. Because that's also one of the ways that you can get validated because that's what the audience are now reaching for.
And you need to be so curated on
Yes.
Instagram. I hate that so much. Because during my
Yung
time,
clean girl aesthetic.
girl, during my time, I just posted whatever on Instagram.
Oo, dahil may mga ano pa, sobrang vibrant na mga photo dati.
Parang may dark exposure.
Exactly.
Yes,
But
G7X.
Exactly. But imagine this. Okay. So now we are selling our labor, right? Our capacity to create. And at the same time, when we're resting from us selling our labor, we are now, and not even getting paid for it, by doom scrolling or just posting on Instagram, which I'm very guilty of.
Me too.
TikTok.
We are now also making available our attention for commodification and for it to be used as products and for it to be sold, even without us even getting a single cent from it. Who's benefiting?
The corporations.
Big corporations, Meta, TikTok, etc., right? Which means na we need, as people who are using these platforms and as content creators who are more powerful than us because you're actually monetized and you're actually the ones who have a lot of following, we need to go together, like band together, organize, and unionize in order to ask for better rights as digital citizens. Right? That means, what do we want? The question is, what do we want though? I think that's the bigger question for us. What do we want? For me, personally, I want protection. Right? I want that there be no fake news proliferated. I want them to crack down on the manosphere, for example. I want them to protect me if I'm getting death threats. I want them to make sure that I am not censored if I start talking about very important topics or shadow banned just because I start talking about activism and very important topics on their platforms. To me, that's very important because I still want to participate in social media platforms to amplify my message. How is Meta going to be able to do that? How is Meta going to be able to make sure that we don't experience tech-facilitated gender-based violence? I think that's on them because they're the ones that own the platforms. They're the ones that should be held accountable and should have the mandate to protect us, the users, that they use to sell their products as.
Platform yun nila eh. They don't even give you any safeguards or anything. Lahat, kahit ngayong, have you heard na recently, tinatanggal na ng Meta ang end-to-end encryption? Oo, diba? The company can read whatever you send to the other person.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
Your Instagram is not your diary. Guys, like don't send nudes there.
Girl, yeah. If you send notes there, do not.
And also, there's holes and let's say bias with the report system. Kasi parang automatically, yung community guidelines nila, I could not be doing any interactive activity there and ma-report, mabaning yung mga account. Plus, if someone would report you, like parang like there's a lot of steps pa, diba, before you can report someone. But when, I think it's on the platform side na, they have like such prejudice. Kay, very, I don't know, it's very, unjust ang ilahong which they agree upon nga kanilang jurisdiction ang i-report ni kani dili, which is in correlation with your desires po.
Yeah. I think yun, vinoise out naman din ni Shamah yung mga recommendations sa it's blatant. Sinabi mo na anong mga request natin, 'di ba? We don't want to be surveilled. We don't want our shit in the open.
Yep.
Di natin yan kailangan. Like, we need protection. Kasi it cannot only stop with the parents protecting their children kasi lahat tayo dito apektado.
Yep.
Oo.
Agree.
Dapat ang taong gumawa ng technology na to or taong gumawa, may-ari ng kumpanya na to, dapat sila din yung may responsibilidad na mag-protect sa atin. We're the stakeholders. We're the users. We give them data. We give them everything.
Yep.
The least you can do is protect us.
Yep.
And that's the least
Exactly.
That's
Correct.
the very, very least.
Yeah. Marky Boy, I love your rebrand. Please include in your rebrand that you need to protect people who use your platform.
Oo. You know, like, it's pivotal to the digital experience because like even just digital you don't know where your content is going if you're gonna post something, diba? It's like maybe just a little reassurance on our end na parang it's gonna be safe, you know? Because already this whole activism thing, you're not sure. There's uncertainty in it, but it's good to have that certainty at least in one platform.
Yeah.
Naman,
Yeah.
diba?
At least just on social media because I'm just talking about social media.
Oo.
Sorry, there's a plethora of other
Oo. But speaking of social media naman, naniniwala ka ba? Kasi we're talking about digital activism. Is there a thing called a digital activist?
For me, no. I don't really think so that you can like profoundly call yourself as a digital activist. Hence, it's kind of one-sided lang na you cannot be an activist. You cannot be a digital activist alone because digital activism correlates and it's synergy. It's a catalyst for offline activities. Hence, again, what I said earlier kanina. Digital activism, that's just an avenue for you to support the on the grounds, what you're doing on the ground. Digital activism, it's kind of, let's say, redundant for me. And parang, it's on a different topic. Like, what if someone would say, hey, I'm a digital activist. So you could, you advocate for digital rights. Now do you get the point? Digital activism, I believe it's just like identification, distinction that I'm advocating, campaigning, doing activism
In the
things
digital space.
digitally. Yes, in the digital space.
Oo, pero like when it comes to the digital, saying that you're in digital I don't think it exists. Kasi activism should be a balance. Kasi you can amplify your voice. But then again, if you're gonna say you're a digital activist, you lose the sense of community.
Yes.
Kasi yun talaga yung on the ground na nakukuha mo, diba? Talking to your peers, talking to the people you rally with, talking to the people that you gain your information from for your situationer. You lose the sense of community.
Yeah. You can't be an activist without community.
Yes.
Independency.
And independency and activism does not exist because we are all part of a system. Lahat tayo sa dito, importante tayong lahat, 'di ba?
Hence, the essence of activism, it's for social change. For having an effect in social change, for the benefit of it. And honestly, you can't do it alone. It's collective effort.
Yes. Yeah, it's really a collective effort because like, girl, pag ikaw lang kausap mo, what are you fighting for? Yeah.
What voice are you amplifying?
How can you like make
My
your
voice,
claim?
my voice.
Yeah, my voice. I am the only one important.
I'm the only victim here.
You cannot verify your claim without other people chiming in the conversation naman. Then, diba? And like, I really like what you said kanina. Like when you talked about the digital creators organizing themselves. You talked about Sasa Girl. Like, I think yung kay Sasa Girl, hindi yung deliberate yung pakikibaka niya. Oo. Kasi I've seen a lot of trans creators, sila Stormy, sila Aura, sila Pixie, sila Junjun. Tapos kasama din sa Sasa Girl.
Yup.
Nagugrupo sila.
Yes.
Oo. Diba? Nagugrupo sila. And like, sometimes it's trolling. Pero most of the time, it's fighting for trans rights. Oo.
Organizing works even with content creators.
And it's what's beautiful about it is it's not even deliberate. They just became friends. And then because they all shared the same identity, they started fighting for it. Naman, diba? And it's just beautiful. I think yun yung isang example sa paano. Ano pa mga ibang example na magbibigay mo?
There's an organization called Social Good. Dili siya Filipino-based manggod. Like, it's global. So kuan siya naga-organize sila og mga influencers that don't always talk about gender-based violence, but they do. but they do it in their own way. So they talk to martial artists who have like really huge following from people who are from the manosphere, who are there because of the manosphere, but they're actually like, they actually don't like gender-based violence. And so they started talking about gender-based violence in their own way, how you shouldn't hit women, how you need to like control your anger. It's part of like becoming a man, blah, 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 whatever, like, I think that's also good, like organizing around an issue. And if it's gender-based violence, talking to multiple people that have connections you don't have. The second one is, and this is not necessarily overt, this is covert this time. Another example is the Me Too movement in China. So, for example, the Chinese government has a lot of censorships when it comes to their citizens. So what they did was, because you can't really say Me Too, what they did was they used the bunny emoji instead. The bunny emoji, because I think, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, people who speak Mandarin, but apparently though, Me Too sounds like bunny in their language. So in WeChat, if you use the bunny image or if you have the bunny image on your it signals that you're a safe space for survivors. It signals that either you want to talk about your sexual assault or you need help around your sexual assault. So nobody really knew about that. And then eventually, like, we started talking about it. But then like it was an underground thing, and that was one of the ways that they were also able to organize and able to talk to each other as well. It's not necessarily creators, but it's a way of organizing in order to help each other all online.
That's a beautiful way of creating like community online. Diba? Like, I don't know, it's not even covert. It's like, it's there's just ways na very parang organic siya within the online space. Like, it's not necessarily reflected in the physical space, pero may mga things talaga na nangyayari on the online space lang din talaga siya. Oo.
Yep.
So, ang dami nating recommendation yung mga protection.
Yes.
And yung mga kasi need talaga din natin talaga yun. Like protection on all courses and all fronts. Kailangan talaga natin yan. Now, ang dami nating mga nakaka-sad na pinag-usapan. Kasi, di ba, like, as much as the digital space does amplify voices, it also has a lot of drawbacks.
Yep.
And also, hindi naman tayo perfect as, like, the activism space is not even really that perfect. Like, a lot of people make mistakes, as you both have said. A lot of people will continue to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But then, learning is always an option.
True.
So with that hope that people will learn, what are your other hopes for the movement?
I hope specifically in activism, the narrative would change. I hope and I have faith in this one. One day we will attain justice for activism. We will attain the spotlight that we deserve. Not necessarily the spotlight, but at least the luminification. Now,
Luminification!
let's refrain from having this philosophy in life that going against the government is immediately a crime. Yeah, we have a lot of laws protecting protest, especially peaceful protest. Now, hence, there are people that are being active going against the governance or having opposition towards the governance. It wouldn't happen if people sitting there in their positions are responsible. Mind you, they should be someone who's responsible, but simultaneously, we are asking accountability for them. Now, tell me, if in all honestly, encompassing everything, if there aren't activists, no one is creating noises, no one is amplifying voices, do you think there is actually social balance in our nation right now? You wouldn't be sitting there comfortably in your driver's seat in your car if it weren't for the safety seatbelts that were being protested by activists, okay? You wouldn't be able to wear whatever you want if it weren't for those active feminists. And we keep on saying kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan, pero kapag kita naman ang like the prime reasons why we limit our youth from from engaging in activities for a better nation. Girl, what kind of idea is that? What kind of ideology is that?
It's very, very backwards naman, diba? Like, we have this notion na ang kabataan na pag-asa ng bayan, pero pag magsasalita ka, bakit wala kang, you're so disrespectful. Why are you talking back to
But at
me?
the same time, they want the youth to be educated about the politics, about society, etc. But once you're overeducated, you're terrifying now.
It's confusing.
Struggle. You're being brainwashed. You're going against the government. NPA ka na. Damn.
Ikaw, Sham, what's your hope for the movement?
I have so many hopes for the movement. I hope for us to elect a progressive leader in the next election. Not just a progressive president, but like progressive people and local as well in the next election. The 2028 elections are coming. I wish for more progressives to run for office. I think that's also important. We keep trying to like change from outside and so scared of getting our hands dirty. Maybe it's time to let go of our moral purity. Again, that's also a capitalistic tendency and a Puritan tendency. Let go of that and start dealing with politics and real politics on the ground. I wish for a feminist digital infrastructure that protects, that holds the powerful accountable, that ensures that nobody is exploited in the entire machinery of the creation of posts in, the deleter, that we also protect the people who censor really, really bad imagery for us as well. I want a digital infrastructure that helps create more than it destroys.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Especially in the local sense na mga nagra-run for office. Kasi 'di ba, yung mga nag-a-announce lang ngayon sila Sa Radu Esther.
Okay, how about you, Steph? What's your hope? What's your no?
Ma-change na natin yung narrative na activism is bad.
Okay, that's actually what we do in Dakila.
That's what we do in Dakila. We try to change the narrative as much as possible na parang sa mga bagay na ganyan, guys, hindi sa mga nakikita ko sa Facebook, ang daming nag-villainize na mga mahirap na kahit yung mga geng-geng pumupunta ng BGC, diba? Bakit kayo pumupunta ng BGC? Guys, stop natin villainize sa mga mahirap. Biktima tayong lahat, mas lalo nang sila. The best that we can do is hold each other in a time like this where fascism is at its strongest. You see the fascists everywhere in Honduras, in America, in Israel. They're gaining so much power. And then pati sa Pilipinas. And then what? We're gonna divide more? And that's what's happening right now with the Marcos and the Duterte, the fans nila. It's the more we divide, the more we lose the sense of community.
Yeah, and they don't have any sense of community.
Sila. Girl, pag yung kapitbahay mo Marcos, tapos kapitbahay mo Duterte, mag-aaway yan.
And to be fair, we both don't like them, so go off, queens.
Yun lang ina-ask ko. Hold each other at this time. Make community. Build community. Hold on to your community because that's the most important thing you can hold on to.
That's beautiful.
Everything you guys have said is beautiful. And I'm so glad that this podcast happened. And I'm so glad that you guys came. Oh my God. Especially, oh my God, Shamah, I know you're really busy. And I'm so glad you made time.
Doing international work.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
So, I was really intimidated by you, but like,
Girl, I'm human, girl.
It feels like when you walk, flowers would bloom. I'm just like, I'm like, you're sad.
1,000 flowers.
Maybe like in the audience, like they would tell, oh, I'm uncomfortable. It's because I'm intimidated, girl. I'm sitting like at the bar corner.
Sitting with the Shamah walang is. Okay, before we end this episode, May gusto ba kayong i-plug? Mga shameless plug nyo? Anong gusto nyo sabihin sa camera dito?
Shameless plug. I don't know, but like, Dakila! Bugtaos ubi latte. It tastes so good, man.
Oh guys, kung pwede nyo punta ng Bugtaw, kung magbibisita kayo ng Dumaguete, please come to Bugtaw.
Ad mo ay sa Bugtaw. But it's the food is really good. I like their pasta.
Kung nakikita nyo table namin, ang daming pagkain, girl, kain kami ng kain the entire time.
Visit Bugtaw. They're also very progressive. The owners are very progressive as well.
Yes.
And I forgot to shout out them, but they were very integral, especially in our donation drive. They allowed the space to be used as storage and drop-off point. So thank you so much, Gab and Julia from Bugtaw.
Yes.
I mean, I guess shameless plug for me also, if it's okay. Please follow Girls Congress. We are currently in the process of creating our research on school-related gender-based violence and our campaign on comprehensive sexuality education and our climate and gender agenda. So do look out for that. It's Girls Congress on Facebook and at girls.congress on Instagram.
Ayan. That's
Okay, I have
beautiful.
one last thing there pala.
Sige,
It's
sige.
about YEC, Young Environmentalist Collective. It's anything and everything towards climate justice. If you want to participate in climate justice movements, hit up on our social media pages.
Ako may shameless plug din ako. If you are in within the Negros Oriental na locality, if you want to join and do things like this, talk about social issues, talk about movements and all that, please join Dakila Dumaguete or Dakila Dumaguete on Facebook, and also follow me on Instagram. My @ is Septum Stinker. Ay lalagay namin to dito para follow me guys. Kailangan ko ng followers para maging creator, para mag-organize na ng mga creator, diba? Pero yes, this has...
Sorry, can I have a call to action?
Yes.
Quickly. And I'm talking to the camera here. LCPO, Lapu-Lapu City Police dropped the charges against the 4 activists who were only holding banners to peacefully protest our fossil fuel dependence and the plastic crisis. They did not do anything wrong. They were only telling the truth. Drop the charges now.
And also, we would like to call on to condemn the actions of the AFP noong 2019. Hindi po maganda yung gitna. We would also like to do a call of action for the 2019. There is a need for an independent investigation so we will know the true facts ng nangyari. You know? And justice needs to be served for those who need it. And yun po ang episode ng Ang Dakilang Podcast! So, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I am Stephen Hardin, your host, together with Ella Oblegar and Shamah Bolangis. Salamat sa panonood. I love you and see you next time. Bye!
Makinig, makilahok, at makisangkot. Dito lang sa Ang Dakilang Podcast! Follow us on Spotify and don't forget to rate Ang Dakilang Podcast!